A young girl battling cancer got to be a zookeeper for the day thanks to Make-A-Wish Foundation and Utah's Hogle Zoo. Tamara Vaifanua has the story.
Michaela Brownie loves animals, so she feels right at home here at Utah's Hogle Zoo. Today, she's in for a special treat. She gets a hands-on learning experience of what it's like to be a zookeeper. Check her out. She is definitely dressed for the part. You can see she's wearing her hat, a vest, a backpack, even has her name tag on. Her first stop is feeding the giraffes. This really has been a nice distraction for Michaela. At 13 months, she was diagnosed with a rare form of liver cancer. Last year, she had a liver transplant.
Everything's just been kind of crazy since September, but you know, we're getting there and soon we'll be through it. And I'm excited because the doctor said once I get healed and everything, I could play gymnastics, which has been like my dream sport for a very long time.
Michaela's got a full plate this afternoon. She'll get to feed the elephants, visit seals, also check out how the lions are trained. Her dad says her attitude has been so positive through all of this, so to get a treat like today means a whole lot to her and her entire family. In Salt Lake City, Tamara Vaifanua, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, the Make-A-Wish Utah chapter has been granting wishes since 1985. They say research shows that children who go through their program can build physical and emotional strength needed to fight a critical illness. Let's take a look outside from our Old Mill camera, looking across the Salt Lake Valley, and look at that lonely little cloud just floating above the northern edge of the Ochre Mountains. Poor little cloud, just kind of hanging out up there.
He needs a friend.
Yeah.
Max, go be his friend.
Okay, I am being his friend from a distance.
From a distance.
Yeah.
But I think you erased all the clouds over the last couple days.
Yep, got my eraser out.
Got it out, because you're seeing nothing but blue skies except that lone little cloud, and that's going to be the name of the game today. Actually, over the next couple days, just sunshine out there, and you're seeing that from our Ochre cam. It's picture perfect this afternoon. Look at the blue skies. It's clear out there, and we're warming up a little more than we did yesterday. Actually, I should say a lot more. We're going to be about 10 degrees warmer this afternoon. Already along the Wasatch Front, you're in the 60s, upper 60s in Salt Lake and Ogden, low 60s right now in Provo. So it's feeling really comfortable as you get yourself out the door. And that's going to be the name of the game statewide. St. George, you're already in the mid-70s. Evanston in the mid-50s, low 60s. In Logan and Wendover, you're hovering in those low 60s as well. And you can see how much warmer it is across the state than it was yesterday at this time. This is our 24-hour change map. Anywhere from 5 to 11 degrees, actually 5 to 13 degrees warmer now along the Wasatch Front. 10 degrees warmer in Milford, 12 degrees warmer in Ely, and even in St. George. But you can see in northern Utah, it's a lot warmer than it is in southern Utah compared to yesterday at this time. And as we jump into the afternoon, you're warming up to the low 70s in Salt Lake City. Nothing but sunshine, a calm, light breeze. And as we go into the rest of our work week, those temperatures continue to climb as high pressure builds. But spring showers are on the way this upcoming weekend as a storm moves through. We're going to be breaking down if it's going to be a washout this upcoming weekend. Those details coming up in just a couple minutes. Max.
All right, Danny, thank you. Well, 2 Utah prison inmates are now facing charges. It's 6 months after officers say they locked correctional officers inside of a cell. They set a fire and started a small riot, and they were drunk, they say. Samuel Alomu and his cellmate, Taniel Salaikelu, are charged with felony aggravated kidnapping and riot. It took almost 6 months to file charges because there was no immediate public threat. Salt Lake County Prosecutor Sim Gill says it is rare for a prison incident to become this dangerous.
The prison officials later having to go in there and extract these 2 individuals who had been locked into that cell, and the other prisoners were not dispersing, and they had to sort of forcefully go in there to bring these individuals out of there.
During a cell search, officers found contraband. They found a bag of fruit that they say smelled like alcohol. Court records show Lomu admitted to being drunk at the time. If they're found guilty, the men could face life in prison. A Salt Lake City police officer is now facing a second felony charge for ordering his dog to bite someone. Our content sharing partners at the Salt Lake Tribune report Officer Nicholas Pierce allegedly lifted up his canine Tuco to bite a woman prosecutors say was not a threat. The latest charge is for aggravated assault. Prosecutors claim the woman was pulled over in 2019 and followed police commands, except for getting out of her car when ordered to, but they say she moved very little and kept her arms out of the windows. Pierce faces another charge for aggravated assault for ordering the same dog to attack a black man on his knees with his hands in the air in a 2020 encounter. Well, the Jazz have announced Donovan Mitchell will not play in the last 3 games of the regular season as he continues to recover from a sprained ankle. Mitchell has missed the last 13 games after he injured his ankle on April 16th. The team says the earliest that he'll be back is the first game of the playoffs. The Jazz have gone 8-5 without him, pretty good. The team also announced that Mike Conley will be out for tonight's game. He has missed the last 8 games with hamstring tightness. The Jazz play the Trailblazers tonight at home. This year's Ironman 70.3 North American Championship in St. George generated the largest economic impact for the region in history. Our partners at the St. George News report the race attracted more than 9,000 athletes and visitors to southern Utah. An estimated $8.9 million was injected into the local economy. And a survey by Ironman Village found more than 80% of visitors plan to return and vacation in Greater Zion, meaning a long-term economic boost for the region.
At least 6 Israelis and dozens of Palestinians are dead as cross-border fighting here continues. I'm Trey Yingst along the Israel-Gaza border. I've got the details coming up.
Looking to world news, the situation in the Middle East is going from bad to worse, fighting intensifying between Israeli forces and Hamas. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has more from the Israel-Gaza border.
Dozens are dead and the back-and-forth attacks continue between Israel and Hamas. Hundreds of rockets fired by militants in the Gaza Strip, at times overwhelming Israel's Iron Dome defense system. Hamas is now targeting Tel Aviv, the second largest city in Israel, as well as smaller cities in the south, with Palestinians also staging violent protests throughout the country, prompting a major Israeli response.
Police units are continuing heightened security and responding to the wave of rockets that have been fired from the Gaza Strip.
Israeli Defense Forces also stepping up airstrikes against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The military says it killed a number of senior commanders on Wednesday in an operation it called complex and unprecedented. As Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says, there will be more to come.
Hamas and Islamic Jihad have paid, and I tell you here, they will pay a very heavy price for their aggression.
This is the worst fighting since a 50-day cross-border war back in 2014. It started on Monday when clashes broke out at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of the holiest sites in Islam. That's when Hamas started